Subtraction is just counting backwards. To begin with subtraction, you start from the positive number and then count backwards the negative number, keeping track of how many numbers you've counted backwards on your fingers. It doesn't matter the order that a subtraction is written, so 9 minus 4 is the same as negative 4 plus 9. They both equal 5. If you have bigger numbers, you can do the subtraction by lining up the place values. You first need to look at the units column, the right hand side column, and see if the top number, which is the positive number, is bigger or smaller than the number that you're subtracting. If it is smaller, you need to borrow from the next column. So from the tens column, you will subtract 10, which will then make it a 4 in the tens column in this case, and you'll add 10 to the units column, which will then give you 12, and you could do 12 minus 8. And you can count that backwards on your fingers, putting up a finger for every number that you count back. In the next case, there's a 4 minus 2, so the 4 is bigger than the 2, so you just need to count backwards 2, keeping track again of how many numbers you've counted back on your fingers. If you have a large number which has many zeros in it and you try to borrow from the next column as we did in the previous question, it's a 0, so you can't borrow from there, so you have to go all the way to the first number, which is non-zero. You will then subtract 1 from that number, add that 1 to the next column, which would give you 10, subtract 1 from that, and so on until you get to the one you're up to, which would then give you a 10 minus 9, which gives a 1. And then from the next column we can do the 9 minus 3 to give us 6, and the rest of the columns can just be copied down because there's nothing being subtracted. As an alternative to counting backwards, you can perform subtraction by counting forwards. How you'll begin it is that you'll start at the number which is being subtracted off and count forwards until you get to the number you're subtracting from. And after you've done that with your fingers, you will count the number of fingers that you have up, and that will be your answer for the subtraction. All of these problems can easily be checked on the calculator. In the case where you are subtracting a number which is bigger than the number you're subtracting from, you should multiply both sides of the equation by -1 to make it so that you have the bigger number subtract the smaller number. You complete that subtraction and you'll get a value. After you get that value, then you'll need to again multiply both sides by -1 to get the value which you should expect to be negative. If we have any decimals, all you need to do is line up the decimal point and proceed as normal.